Hey, what's going down? Welcome to another week of Ground and Pound. Craig, last week we couldn't do a video because our resident filmographer Gareth, he was off.
Gareth was being a dick.
He was off on his holidays with his GF. No, he was just on his holidays. I think that's a
whatever.
So anyway, Craig, we've a lot to get through then because we have a bit of news hanging into this week, you know.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah,
lots of shit going on.
Last weekend we saw Derek Lewis taking on JDS. Derek Lewis taking on JDS. Sorry, yes, in Wichita. Is that it? Wichita?
Yeah, I was calling it Wichita. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Wichita. Wichita. And very impressive win from Mr. JDS.
Yeah,
spin it back kick. Fucked up his liver. Derek was down, but it just showed what Derek's capable of, man, with that one overhand right.
Shades of Pete Sale all those years ago, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Rolled over the ball, landed that right hand.
Did knock him down, but then he actually couldn't feel up the energy to actually go and finish off the fight.
In fairness, Dos Santos, kept composed, relaxed, and he didn't rush the finish, so we let go in the second round and we finished off Lewis then.
Yeah.
And he's on 3 fights, 3-fight winning streak now, and could be fans of Ngannou next.
Yeah, he was calling out his displeasure as well as Mr. Brock Lesnar is getting himself a title shot and he thinks that's a disgrace. He's like one fight in the last 8 years and he's just not a part of the sport anymore, which is very fair for Mr. JDS, who has long time beef with Mr. Lesnar. I'd love to see them fight. It's now time for a second ever guest to be our correspondent here today on the show for all the weird and wonderful news of MMA. Could we please introduce our good friend, Muay Thai fighter in the making, Mr. Conor Kelly.
Hi, what's up, man?
Okay,
it's such a privilege to be here, actually.
Okay, guys.
That's a nice cherry out there, man.
Conor, what's your name? Where do you come from? What's all about you?
My name is Conor Kelly.
Yeah.
And I'm from Balbriggan, born and bred, Bal Road, where the heart is.
And you train in martial arts, Conor?
Yeah, I do. I train up in Warriors Gym in Dunleary. Keane Kelly's gym. Not bragging.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
For once.
Who's your favourite MMA fighter?
Oh, I'd have to say it's Darren Till. It's Darren fucking Till.
It's Darren Till. Yeah. What a coincidence,
because he's fighting this Saturday, man.
This Saturday night
in London.
Yeah.
It's taking place. Conor Kelly, who do you got in the main event?
Darren Till.
Darren Till, of course, because he looks like a badass with his new haircut.
Yeah, he's all baldy now.
He's
looking
jacked,
shredded.
man. So shredded,
He's
man.
so buff and sexy.
Good man, he's a good guy, isn't he? Yeah.
Like
Colby Covington's best friend, George MASVIDAL, is back in action.
Game bread.
They did their little sit-down BT interview and they seem to like each other. They just feel
they got respect for each other.
It's business time.
They're like the same person, just from
different places. Yeah.
Late last night, everybody.
At the time of recording, yeah.
Yeah. Conor McGregor came up in the news, and obviously not for good reasons. He was arrested in Miami. Everybody.
He's not in any good reasons at the moment.
He was arrested in Miami.
Coming out of a nightclub last night, 5 AM, he came out and some guy was taking video of him. He threw his phone on the ground, he smashed on his phone and smashed it up to pieces.
Proper order, in my opinion.
Which
proper order.
I get it. I mean, I'd be pissed off if people are shoving their fucking camera in my face.
Buy him 6 new phones.
It's not like he asked for a picture; he's just shoving it in his face, man. Like, that's gonna piss me off,
You don't do it. You don't do it to.
You don't do it.
Speaking of Conor McGregor, he's been called out this week by none other than Polly Majnidali, who first off he wanted to fight Mr. Artem Lobov at Bare Knuckle FC in the summer because he's apparently signed a contract there. But then he has now, Polly.
So it's done.
Oh, sweet. He was also calling out Mr. Conor McGregor for if he wins his next fight, he can jump over the cross-promotional fight to Bare Knuckle FC and take on Polly. I don't think that fight will happen.
Me neither, but I think the one that will happen is Malignaggi and Lobov, man.
Lobov.
Bare Knuckle fighter, I'm hoping Lobov's going to win his debut now. I think it's next month or the month after, and then after that they wanted to fight Malignaggi, and that would be like a main event. That would be a big fight, There's history there. There's beef between SPG and Malignaggi's camp,
definitely.
That'd be a good fight, and it's bare knuckle boxing, man.
Yeah, man.
It's manly as fuck.
It's manly as fuck.
I love seeing the blood on people's knuckles.
Fuck, isn't
There's
it?
blood on their knuckles, and
absolutely.
It's cool.
But one fight that we do know is happening, Craig, is the contender killer, Jose Aldo. He's back in action against one of the top contenders in the division.
Alexander Volkan, great.
Yeah, the great. It's going to be one hell of a scrap, Craig.
Aldo's looking great these days.
Volkanovski's best friend had to move the date of his wedding around because he got this fight. So that's a good friend. I expect you guys to do the same for me if I'm ever dancing or something.
I won't. I wouldn't.
Talks in the work for Brian Ortega, obviously coming off that loss to Max Holloway to take on Zabit next, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I don't want that fight next, to be honest, man. To be honest, I wouldn't even mind if the winner of this fight fought Zabit next. The winner of Aldo Volkanovski fought Zabit. I mean, Ortega's coming off a loss, I don't really want him to be fed to not fed to Zabit, but that's a fucking tough fight.
Zabit has a lot of hype behind him as well.
Exactly.
He's like a ninja. He's like a Shaolin Russian monk.
Yeah, he actually is Shaolin. Yeah,
is he?
Yeah, some crazy shit, man.
Shaolin.
I want to see his upbringing. It's insane, the full story. But anyway, that is Zabit, that is the rumored fight that's going to be taking place next. Craig, obviously, we haven't checked in since UFC 235 a couple of weeks ago, where Sean versus Craig took place. What was the final score?
It was 2-2.
Yeah, so it is a draw. So currently stands 1 to Craig, 1 to me, and one draw, which we won't count. So it's just 1 to Craig.
So what's the next one? 236.
Yeah, they did.
Adesanya, Gastelum, and Poirier Holloway. Oh, that would get you horny.
Freaking barn burners in that fight, alright.
Horny, man.
But obviously, since that took place, Kamaru Usman's unbelievable, dominant performance. It was just crazy to watch.
Totally dismantled Woodley over 4 rounds.
A lot of worries now for Woodley. I mean, he's not a company man, and people who aren't company men don't tend to do.
He's gonna have to jump through rings for them now. Whereas before he was able to kind of hold the reins and dictate things. Now he's gonna have to jump through rings for the UFC now.
He won't like that.
Him and Damon don't get on really. But look, I think it's kind of fresh for the welterweight division having a new champion, and brings a lot of exciting fighters. And makes obviously we're going to get Colby Covington next fight for the belt. Yeah, and that's going to be wild.
There's a presidential candidate who wants to run for a Democratic position in 2020 in the United States called Mr. Andrew Yang. And Andrew Yang says MMA fighters in the UFC receive only 10 to 15% of revenues versus 50% in other sports. I would apply the Ali Act to MMA to allow MMA fighters to unionize. Firing Leslie Smith when our opponent didn't make weight was clearly retaliatory. Dana White should stop boasting about revenue, which is very, very fair. I mean, it is the discussion that fighters are criminally underpaid, and Dana White's always coming out saying how great the pay-per-views are doing. So someone tagged Helwani. Andrew Yang responded saying, I'm sure he can't really touch this because he works for UFC. But then Ariel came right back and he says, laughable. I've been talking about these issues long before you cared about MMA. I appreciate your interest in this topic, but just because you care about it right now doesn't mean I have to respond to every attempt of yours to bait me into public discussion. Good luck. And Andrew Yang said, listen, you don't know how long I've cared about MMA, Ariel. You are clearly not the bad guy here. I'm just saying it's going to be tough under ESPN. I remember them firing Bill Simmons for messing with the NFL. Their relationship is too new to fire someone to question the fundamentals. Been following you for a long time and appreciate your awesome coverage. Look forward to your weekly chat for a long time. So there you go. Very defensive from Ariel. A lot of people are having a douchey response.
It was douchey.
But that's definitely a discussion that should be taking place.
Yeah, man. I think the whole... To be honest, they should just have a fighters union a lot of sports have, and that would just increase things. They struggle for a lot of years trying to get a fighters union.
Absolutely,
just never came together.
It's such a young sport at the moment in comparison to all these other sports that it will take another while for a union to happen. But speaking of Ariel Helwani, he had a show last night at the time of us recording, and Yoel Romero was on. He was saying the fight with Paulo Costa. He said the fight with Paulo Costa isn't happening because he thinks he was flagged by USADA. Now we did ring up.
Ariel. Shock horror! Paulo Costa flagged by USADA.
We did ring up Ariel after the show and saying, listen, that's just hearsay at the moment.
Yeah, he heard it.
And then, but Costa's team have not responded since. But I mean, come on, baby girl.
No, they did respond. His manager said Yoel Romero's a liar. Okay. This is not true, but you never know, because USADA don't have to bring out news now if someone's flagged.
I don't think Yoel would ever lie.
Sure,
absolutely.
You don't think he'd ever lie?
No, he's a soldier of God. He's the honest man.
Yes. What about when he sat on the bench in Stilgate? He sat in the seat, man, a bit longer after the round of it.
No, that was okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Conor, you've been a fantastic guest, but it's almost time for us to put you through your ringer before we end the show, okay? So we're gonna...
First, I want to put him on the board of guests.
Yeah.
Here's Reese.
Yes.
And here's Conor.
And then there's a unicorn and a fire-breathing.
Can me and Reese have a fist fight to see who's the better guest?
I think so. That'd be interesting.
That'd be.
Would you guys want to see that?
Comment in the description. Comment in the description if you want to see that for our next
video.
video.
Me and Reese fight, fist fight to see who's the best guest.
I'll contact the commission and see if we can make it happen.
Perfect.
Who is your favourite American fighter? Go.
American fighter, Conor McGregor, of course.
Okay.
Brazilian fighter.
Fucking Jorge Masvidal.
Okay. African fighter.
Darren Till.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on, Conor. This weekend, Darren Till takes on Jorge Masvidal in the main event of UFC London. Conor, it's been a pleasure. You can follow Conor on Instagram. What's your Instagram, Conor? What's your Instagram?
It's Conor K56.
There you go. At Gareth_Sweeney, at O'Haragram, at Donald Sean Kerry, at Ground and Pound Show. Baby, we love you. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.